Alright, we're back to normal after that, and the last video in black and white too. This is going to be a review of the manga series Hot Gimmick, which apparently is fairly popular, but I'm pretty sure there's not an anime or anything like that. I actually got this whole set used for very, very cheap, other than one book, which I had to go find, but I think it was probably worth what I paid for it. Anyway, basically, if you don't like ridiculous soap opera drama, don't bother. I don't really care for that kind of thing either, but I also got it for dirt cheap. So basically, unless you want a really ridiculous story, which I'll get more into in a second, then don't hunt down these books. It's probably not worth it. Anyway, the story. So this is probably going to give something away, kind of. So if you really have intentions of reading this, then I'll make this really quick. Basically, the main character hates the guy that she's falling in love with. That is the main part of it. So that in itself makes things complicated. Now, for those of you who don't care to read this, or don't care if I spoil the story for you, trust me, you're not missing out on a whole lot. Basically, the main character, Hatsumi, is falling in love with her childhood friend, Azusa, who then turns out to not actually be her friend and tries to have her raped by like 4 guys in front of a camera so he can show her dad, because he has a grudge against her because he had an affair with his mom, and his mom is dead and lived the rest of her life in shame because she married some other guy, then had him when she was pregnant with Hatsumi's dad's kid, which later you find out that it wasn't actually Hatsumi's dad, and it was the father of the guy that Hatsumi falls in love with, who is Ryoki. His father is the one who actually had an affair with Azusa's mother, and all the while, Shinogu, who is Hatsumi's brother, is in love with her. It's adopted brother, by the way, so it's a little less weird. Apparently, he's been in love with her for forever, since he knew her, I guess, and he's been her brother all this time, so he's trying to get his adoption annulled, and basically it's causing problems. And everything causes problems, and Hatsumi apparently doesn't really know how to deal with things very well, and neither does anybody else, for the most part. So this story, obviously, that was just a really brief description of the plot. It's kind of, I don't even know how to put it exactly. It's original, somewhat. It's really thoughtful in the sense that they tried to cram as many different subplots as they could and still keep it somewhat logical. The whole her adopted brother thing, that kind of wasn't all that logical, along with like her suddenly falling in love with the guy that she's terrified of and hates. That didn't make any sense. Also, there is another plot going on at the same time about Akane, who is Hatsumi's sister, who has a love thing going on with Ryoki's friend, whose name is Subaru. I don't know how I know all these people's names. It's probably because they're easy and one of them's named after a car company. But for once I actually know the names, which is really nice. So basically, there's not a whole hell of a lot to say about this. It's kind of awful, actually, and the ending is stupid as well. So if you can find it really cheap and buy the whole set at once, I'd say maybe. If you really like that kind of thing, then sure, go for it, but I would definitely not recommend anyone to go out hunting this down. Oh, and I forgot to mention that this originally starts out as Hatsumi making a deal with Ryoki that basically she's going to be his slave because of something I can't remember, something that didn't really matter all that much. Apparently it was basically like his mother is queen of the complex because they live in company housing, and she like controls everybody's lives essentially, and Ryoki, being her son, obviously has some control over things, And so she agrees to be his slave under the condition of him not telling his mother something. I don't remember, but eventually it turns into love, and everybody is really stupid at least one point. Everybody is pretty much stupid at least once, which you can't have a decent story without that, of course. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't read this crap if you don't have to. I actually read all 12 volumes somehow. It took me a couple of months, but I did. And if you've read it, tell me what you thought. If you haven't, tell me what you thought of the video. Tell me something. Tell me your name and your birthday. I don't care. Leave a comment. I love to see what you guys say. I have a giveaway going on, maybe, if I post this in time. So look for that. And remember to subscribe and all that good crap. So hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time.